What's good? All right, so this is a ride request screen on Lyft platform, and as you can see right here, they are offering me $4.09 to give this person a ride. Now you're looking right here where it says 27.26, which is an estimated rate for this ride based off of me accepting rides like this ride this particular hour. So that means this ride I'll get paid $4.09, and if they send me more rides like this at the end of the hour, I'll make $27.26. So I want to make sure I make that clear, because people tend to look at the big number and they're not looking at the small number, so they make that misunderstanding. Oh man, for 9 minutes you're getting paid $27.26, dude. In bold writing right there, it says 409. Why are you skipping to the bottom? Some drivers did that when they first implemented this estimated rate for on an hourly basis. So again, the total time is 9 minutes for this ride. It is going to be the total of 2.8 miles. The passenger has a rating of 4.9 on their account. If you're a rider and you're wondering what that means, drivers at the end of every ride, they rate the passenger. If you get less than 4 stars from a driver, that driver can't rate you anymore. The more often that happens, that you get a bad rating from drivers, you lose driver availability. That means that Lyft's algorithm is going to price your rides higher than what it's supposed to be. No, the drivers are not getting paid extra to give you rides. No, Lyft is just making more money off you. The rating system is there to basically get as much money as they can off you. And a lot of drivers are going to give you a bad rating because you were late at pickup. There are plenty of people who are always outside waiting. The app already tells you when the driver's going to arrive. You walking out the door 2-3 minutes after the driver gets there, or just now walking out, that's time that we don't have. We don't get paid by the hour. We don't get paid to pick you up. You're not paying for pickup. In your app, if you want to contribute to the pickup, you will see down here at the bottom right hand side, it says you. If you have the old version of the Lyft app, you will be able to click up here where it has the 3 bars where it says menu. So you would click on you or menu. You will scroll down to your settings. And inside I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I flipped back to the wrong screen. In here, you will go down to your settings. And when you get to settings, you will go ahead and click on default tip, and you can select a tip amount. The minimum is $1. This would help the driver cover their cost picking you up for your ride. In some cases, it covers all the driver's costs. In a lot of cases, it doesn't really cover as much of anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing more ride requests and a little bit less talking. Now here, again, $3.30 is what they're offering me. Total of 8 minutes. And the total amount of miles is 3.7 miles for this ride. This ride here, Lyft is offering $10.16 to complete this trip with a 92-cent bonus, which is already added in there. Trips like this trip would estimate out to an hourly rate of $33.86. And it's going to take the total of 18 minutes to complete this trip. I'm going to have to put 10.7 miles on my car for this trip. Time-wise, the 10.16, it's good money for 18 minutes. However, putting 10.7 miles on my car makes me lose money on this trip. I'm not making a profit on this trip if I accept the trip. How many minutes was that last trip? I think it was 18 minutes. And now for this trip, it's 18 minutes. But guess what? It's 9:16. It's less than the last trip. Although in this particular case, I'm only putting 7.4 miles on my car. So what would you do as a passenger if you were a driver, or as a driver, which trip would you prefer? The last trip, which was same 18 minutes, however, it was more miles, and in this particular case, it's less miles, but you're getting paid a little bit less, but almost the same amount. So for me as a driver, I'd rather take this trip than to take the other trip, considering that I'm putting less miles on my car and I'm not making that much less, because what the difference is about 3 miles. That's why I find this trip to be more, a better standard than the last trip. Again, I'll leave this up here. You can read what I usually send the passengers, because I'm tired of people requesting rides for their teenagers, and their teenagers are under 18. Do you know that leaves me responsible for anything? If I get into an accident, it leaves me responsible. Lyft is not responsible for your underage teen, because you signed an arbitration agreement which states that you already know you have to be 18 or older, or adult has to be present during the trip. Car seats, it's a $25 to $75 ticket that you receive. A no car seat ticket. It's $20 to $75 on a first offense. If you get caught a second time, it's a 4th degree misdemeanor. It's a $250 ticket and 30 days in jail in my market. So it's not worth it for me to get there and find out you don't have a car seat, and then you try to talk about, well, my car seat is at my mama's house and we're just trying to get home, and that is, I'm not gonna risk putting myself in jail. I don't care what your damn reason is. I don't care if your boyfriend is shooting at you when you're trying to get out to my car. Number one, I'm not gonna stand there and take a bullet for you. I'm sorry, I got kids myself. I can't put your kids before my kids. It's just not gonna happen. But you should have a car seat all day, every day, all the time, no matter where you're at. Your child's safety should be first. 20-minute trip, total 8.7 miles for this particular trip. The payout for this ride is $9.16. Now, if this hourly amount right here, if it was actually guaranteed, based off of that and that I'm going to make $27.48, I probably would take the trip. Now, in this particular case, I probably did accept the trip because they're offering a little bit more than what they normally would offer. But because Lyft's algorithm is trained to manipulate drivers as much as possible, let's say I was around the corner from this person or half a mile away from this person, they would not offer me $9.16 for this ride. They would offer me, for this particular ride, they would offer me maybe $4.80, even $5.20 for this ride. So less than $1 per mile. Now, this person probably has been waiting for some time. Not only that, but based off of where they're traveling to, a lot of drivers would probably reject the ride. So that's why I'm saying that this passenger has probably waited a little bit too long. If the passenger overpaid for the ride, Lyft is going to add more to each one. After each driver declines it, the payout would go up more than usual. Now, they have a standard amount that the payout will increase based off of how long the passenger has been waiting, how many drivers have declined the ride. They have a standard amount, which it may increase 5 to 15 cents every time a driver declines it. So, in essence, like I said, if that was the case where this passenger was paid the actual amount for the ride, charged the actual amount for the ride, then it would not be reading $9.16 right now. It would be reading $9.16. It would be reading a lot less. It would be reading, probably if 5 or 6 drivers declined it, it would be reading somewhere around $5 to $6 is what it would be reading. So I know for a fact that this person paid more for a ride. Not just the priority, but they paid more for the ride because Lyft just sent them a little offer. We get you a ride for $20-something, $28. And the passenger paid it. So instead of, again, and I want to make sure people understand this, and it's very clear, if the passenger paid the standard rate for a ride, not overcharged, then Lyft is only going to offer maybe 5 or 10, maybe even 15 cents more each time a driver declines it. That's what they're going to offer. If the passenger paid $10, $15 more than what they're supposed to, then Lyft may offer, starting off, maybe 25 cents more than what they normally would pay for the ride. And 2 or 3 drivers decline it. Now they're going up another 50 to 75 cents, each time that a driver declines it. couple more decline it, then guess what? Now they went up $1, $2, maybe even $3 or $4. That's why a lot of drivers need to stop accepting ride requests, just because they're like, oh, well, it's close by, or, oh, well, let me get this money. I'm desperate, or whatever the case is. Stop doing that. Stop being petty. Only accept the rides that make a profit. So here you have the total of 22 minutes for this particular ride, and the passenger is traveling, well, we have 11.8 miles the passenger is traveling. Now, I don't think I did accept this ride, and the reason being is because the passenger is being dropped off in Rossford. It's not a lot of ride requests. Only certain times a day in this market, which is usually whenever there is a person going to Amazon is out in Rossford, FedEx, and you have UPS, which actually UPS is mommy, but it's not too far from the Rossford area. So when there's shift changes, this may not be that bad as far as dropping off out there. The total amount for the miles, not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. The total amount for the time, it is not too bad. Now, again, if you are dropping off in Rossford and it is a shift change, you are likely to get a ride request that is going to take you from the Rossford area back into the Toledo area. I wouldn't take a ride going back into Maumee because it's not going to be a whole lot of rides. But like I said, if it is shift change, 9 out of 10, my pickup will just end up being back here in the Rossford area anyway. So it's one of those things where you just have to make the decision yourself, and it goes based off of experience. Now, in this particular case, we have a trip that's about 14 miles between the pickup and the drop-off. You know why I ended up taking this ride in the first place is because it's paying out $21. I do not see trips paying out $20 that often. And if it is, it's usually going all the way out to Bowling Greens. I'm not doing it. And so for me, I ended up taking the trip. No, I do not like a 6.3 mile pickup, not at 15 minutes. No. It's also a scheduled ride. And a lot of times you show up early for a scheduled ride, people are not ready. I recommend you call them and you say, hey, I noticed that your ride is a scheduled ride and it's, pickup is a while away from now. I'm only 15 minutes away. If you're not going to be ready, I can get you another driver. I can't really afford to, have a long wait time sitting there burning gas, but I can, as a compromise, I can get you another driver if you're not going to be ready. So you can check with the passenger. If you don't want to be sitting around waiting for 20 minutes, check with the passenger. See if they can make me be ready. A lot of times they're cool with it. So I've had passengers where they're like, well, I mean, you already accepted the ride request, or you already took the scheduled ride. See, that sounds like you're a driver and you're bitter because you did this, you lost a lot of money, and now you don't have a car no more. And now you think that there's some sort of obligation. And I just simply say, ma'am, look, I'm just trying to compromise with you, and I'm trying to tell you that they sent it to me now. This would actually keep me from making money, and I stand a chance of making more money if I just go ahead and I cancel, and I go ahead and I go pick up other passengers. I'm just saying, hey, if you're ready, then we can go ahead and move forward. But if you're not, then either you can explain it to people, or you can just say, you know what, you're right. You're right. All right. I'm sorry for disturbing you. All right. So is it okay if I hang up now? They'll probably say, well, are you going to come pick me up? I'm going to go ahead and cancel because you're right. And I don't want to upset you anymore. You have a great day. They might be like, no, man, you can go ahead and come through. I'm just saying blah, 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 and everything. Like, I'll be honest with you. I think that you're a bit upset. You're a bit angry. I'm just telling you how things work on my end. And as a driver, as an independent contractor, and Lyft doesn't own my car. And they don't pay for my maintenance or my gas or anything. And therefore, for me, I can't, like I said, I told you my half. And if you wanted to ride, then cool. Like, no matter what, people are bitter. People are petty. You don't need to even explain things to people. Like I said, you can call them, see if they'll be ready. They're going to be ready. Cool. Do the ride. If they're not going to be ready, just go ahead and hang up the phone, cancel the ride, move on with your life, let them find another driver and move on with their life. So with this one right here, I like this ride. I did end up taking this one. This was going to take me 21 minutes and 9.5 miles for 1108. Now, why did I like it? Me doing 9 miles, putting 9 miles on my car, you know what I'm saying, 9.5 miles on my car, 21 minutes, the 1108, it is worth it. But for me to put that many miles on my car for 1108, that makes it not worth it. But again, I did take this ride because the passenger had a 5-star rating. And so I felt like this person would probably end up tipping. It's a fast pickup, and then not only that, like I said, I keep a clean car. You know, I wear my headsets when I'm in the car. I give people a peaceful ride. I'm not trying to yap. There are plenty of passengers that they are trying to talk a lot, and I don't want to do that. I used to when I first started doing this. I don't want to do it anymore. 9 minutes, 2.8 miles for $4.09. 11.4 miles for $13.15. The total of 25 minutes for this ride. 15 minutes, $18.14. The total of 5.2 miles for $8.14. And that was only because of $1.36 bonus. And I did accept it. I moved the cursor, and so I forgot if I showed this ride right here, but this is over 30 minutes. It's over 20.9 miles for the total miles that I'm going to be putting on my car. The pickup is in Swanton, and so it's not that bad because the drop off is back in Toledo, but the area that is dropping off in is a slower area. But however, Lyft knows that drivers are likely to accept it because they're not always offering $21.11 for any single ride. This kind of makes sense only if it's 30 minutes, but it doesn't really make sense for the total amount of miles, but it does average out to $1 a mile, and the passenger does have a 5-star rating. So it's kind of up to the driver whether the driver wants to take a trip like this. I'd like to keep the pickup down to 10 minutes, and the total trip time actually exceeds more than anything. But 17-minute wait time for a passenger, not all that good. However, because it's hard to get drivers to come out to the Swanton area, I don't think the passenger will mind waiting 17 minutes for a pickup anyway. As you can see, I rejected the offer though. 15 minutes, 5.2 miles for $8.14. In 10 minutes, the total of 3 miles for $5.16. Okay, this particular passenger, I was driving down the street. I seen the people standing outside of the business. And all I seen 3 people. It was like 3 or 4 people. And they had a bunch of bags sitting outside. It was like clothes bags, other stuff. It wasn't even a laundry place. So I'm assuming that these people were coming from a laundromat and they stopped to get something to eat and their car broke down. However, I'm looking at the total number of people and all the bags that are sitting there, and I'm like, I don't want to put up with this. Now, if this person would have requested the ride and they would have messaged me and they would have told me that they have a lot of bags, the car broke down and everything, and you know what I'm saying, let me know what the conditions that they're in, and giving me the option on whether I wanted to put all that stuff in my car or not. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But because you didn't notify me of this situation and everything, I felt uncomfortable with it. You don't know if I have stuff in my car. I'm not a city taxi driver. This is my personal vehicle. I can have my own stuff in here. I don't want your stuff being boggled in with mine, and it being a possibility that you may walk out with one of my bags or something of mine, my belongings. I've had passengers steal stuff from me. I had person steal lotion from me, person stealing hand sanitizer. I have a video posted up on that. And not only that, but I got tools in my back, even though it's under, it's in the compartment where the tire is and everything. I don't want to risk anybody being back there and taking shit. The more stuff you have, the more time you got to spend back there. There's a likely chance that you may take my stuff. I had a bag when I was in Michigan with my clothes in it and some other personal items in that bag. So, and somebody took that bag. It was like 3 people that was riding in my car. And they took my bag. I didn't even notice that they took my bag, and I was pissed off about it. Because, I had to sit here and I had to think about it. And when I contacted Lyft, it was nothing that they can apparently do about the scenario. And again, for me, I was really, really heated about it because I'm tired of this shit. And so for me, like I said, I don't like it when people pull 2 buggies of groceries out of the grocery store and put all that stuff in my car. You know why? Because I noticed that a lot of these people, they don't even tip. I have to wait for you to load that stuff in. The little 6 cents that Lyft is paying me per minute, it's not worth me waiting for you loading and unloading that crap out of my car. It's just not freaking worth it, man. You wonder why a lot of drivers don't like doing this. And I was paid for that cancellation because, once again, it was too many bags. There was a picture right there of the scenario. I didn't show everything, but as you can see right here, you got 5.4 miles, $6.16. And they have another ride right here in the trip radar, and it's showing 8.8 rides minute. I'm sorry, 8.8 miles, 20 minutes, 9:17. It's not really that horrible, but what is horrible, and I hope I don't get any type of bullcrap about that, showing the face picture of the person. You can hardly even see the crap. But at a 4.7 rating, nope, not worth my time. Not worth my time at all. I'm not trying to deal with people like that. And I'll play the video because I'm pretty sure I did not accept that ride request. And again, you guys can set your tip amount. Set your tip amount. When you have a bad rating, bad score, you want to make sure drivers accept your stuff. You might want to consider adding in a percentage on the tip. And usually, like I said, Lyft is number one. If you're going to be tipping drivers, this is the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it because the driver will see the tip when they see the ride request. And this is going to entice them to accept your trip, for number one. Number two, it ensures you as a passenger that you don't have to worry about Lyft stealing the tip because the driver will see it upon accepting the ride request. So that makes things a heck of a lot easier on your end. Now you got 3.6 miles, $3.30, 8 minutes of time. 3.1 miles, 6 minutes of time, $3.30. Now, here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. I probably did take this particular ride, but drivers don't want to accept rides under $5. Number one, yeah, this ride, 6 minutes, it's not worth the trip when you look at the miles. But for the total time, it's worth it. But what pisses me off as a driver is when I get to the pickup location, it's a $3.30 ride, and I have to wait 4 more minutes for the passenger. So it goes from 6 minutes to 10 minutes. Now it's not worth the time. That 4 minutes reduces the hourly rate that I can make with rides like that. Waiting an additional 4 minutes will reduce it from $33 down to $30. So no, I don't want to sit here and have to wait for a passenger. But it's like I said, even though the pickup distance is really close, it's really hard to accept a trip like this, knowing that the passenger probably isn't ready at all. Now, in some cases, you kind of do want to take the trip because you know that Lyft pays out $3, which is base fare, when the passenger is traveling less than 3.4 miles. So by them paying you $3.30, it kind of makes you feel like, okay, they paid priority. So the passenger should be ready. That's what you're thinking as a driver. But at the same time, we really don't know what we're walking into. Here you have 10.7 miles, 10.16. Now you have 18 miles, total of 7.2. I must have took that ride. You see I sent the message to the passenger. And I'm logging back on. They're claiming that it's busy. Here you have 20 minutes. Yeah, there you have 22 minutes, over 10 miles. 11.8 miles for 10.16. I didn't like where that person was being dropped off at, so I declined the ride. And on this one, you have 20 minutes. You have 9.9 miles for 9.14. They're being dropped off up here by the mall. This is too close to the border. Too close to the border. The ride requests that we normally get are usually south of the border. South of the border. Yeah, certain times of the day, you may get ride requests up there towards the border, and it may take you back south. But late nights, nope. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be shitting crapping bricks. So it's kind of like a preference thing. If you know the market, whether you should take that ride or not take the ride. I mean, for the total amount of time, I'd say miles. Basically, most drivers, that's 7.9 miles. They will want 14 for the ride itself. I usually go by time, and my goal when it's slow is 38 cents a minute. And when it's fast, anywhere between 40 and 45 cents per minute is what I'm looking to recoup. But I'm looking at the total time. I'm not just looking at, I'm looking at the total time. I'm not just looking at the miles and the time, both or whatever. I'm just looking at the time itself. Again, it's profitable to look at mile wise, but at the same time, you have highway miles and other things that factor in, and a lot of times drivers are really off. So I've found going by time, and that's why I have a chart where it's 38 cents a minute, 45 cents a minute, and so forth. You're guaranteed to make, good money at the end of the year, depending on how busy your market is throughout the day. But yeah, at the end of the year, you'll probably be sitting around about 80,000 to even over 100,000 if you base everything off of time and or the busy state of your market and where you're going to be driving, because a lot of times people drive all over the place and it starts to give you longer distance pickups, which means that you basing everything off of time, you're not going to be able to find the rides that are going to be equivalent to the time. So if you have a drop off, like if a drop off for me was over in this area, then I have to switch from time and I have to go to miles. It's better for me to go based off of miles, because Lyft is likely to offer me a little bit more money based off of a 6 mile or 7 mile pickup difference trying to go back towards Toledo. So I know I can make it based off of miles in that case, but probably not so much in the cases of time wise, being that 15-20 minute pickup and a 10-minute drop off. Yeah, they're probably not going to pay me enough if I'm basing it off of time. And here you have this ride. It's similar to another ride that I showed earlier. I don't know. That might be the same ride. The Swanton. No, I can't tell. Yeah, it is the same Swanton ride. Okay, so now you got 21 minutes. And, of course, I didn't take that one. Try to go offline after you accept the ride request. If a person has a low rating, sorry for coughing. If a person has a low rating, and which is below a 4.8, I don't recommend, if that person is late at pickup, they're probably going to be late at pickup all the time. And here you have 11 miles for $13. Time-wise, that's not too bad. If drivers mark you off, as far as not wearing a seatbelt, then the cost of your rides are going to go up. Remember, insurance companies don't like it when you get tickets for no seatbelt, but it's just the fact that you didn't wear a seatbelt, period. So when the driver reports it on Lyft, then guess what? The insurance company is going to require more money on your rides. A lot of the drivers haven't figured that one out yet. They haven't figured out that certain people are being charged more money for rides. This one right here, I don't know. I think the name is different from before, but that's another Swanton pickup. They were going crazy on that one. There we go. 15 minutes, 8:14. Time-wise, not too bad. So I did accept that one. And as you can see, I'm just letting it just float through right now. That's 10 minutes for 5:16. I think I took that one. Yep, I took it. That wasn't too bad. At least it met my minimum. It wasn't too many miles. It wasn't going to take too long. So I'm going to go forward a little bit because I've already covered that portion of the video. You know what? That ends it. So again, if you are a passenger and you're watching this this video, understand this. We do not get paid to pick you up. No pay whatsoever. We do not get paid to wait for you at the pickup for the first few minutes. Okay? And for the most part, we're just getting 18 cents. It's not worth it. I can't buy anything with 18 cents. You're going to sit here and you're not going to tip me because you knew you were late coming out? Because you think that you're entitled? No. You're not entitled, baby. You're not entitled. They give you an ETA. This is supposed to make things a lot faster. They can make more money. We can make more money. Do you realize that most of the time that they're trying to scramble up as much money as they possibly can because they should have gotten more rides done that hour, but because of wait time, now you're screwing everybody else. You're requesting a ride at 3 o'clock, but now at 4 o'clock, they're screwing everybody on prices. Because you're not the only one that they're calculating that total loss of time. There are thousands of people taking 4 or 5 minutes to pick up. Now, drivers can go ahead and mark you as a no-show, but we don't know if you're going to try to say, oh, well, the driver was intoxicated or blah, blah, blah. The driver gets deactivated for that crap. Now, we can fight that deactivation, but we may be offline for 3 or 4 weeks. So imagine you're not the only one doing the bull crap. There's other people doing it too. And this is going to cost a lot of people time and a lot of people money. Appreciate y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, I probably could have did a better job with the video and just stuck more to showing the ride requests. I am probably going to do a short, which it only shows the ride requests. So I'll give the video, when I do that video and I edit it, it's going to show the ride requests and probably I'll put some music in there. But I'll give it like 2 seconds per ride request, maybe 3 seconds per ride request, showing what kind of offers we receive as drivers. So it's going to be less talking and explanation. A lot of my videos are probably going to have shorts where it's showing, stuff like this, where it's showing the ride request and not so much talking during the videos, but maybe some music behind it. It's kind of to expose what Lyft is offering. Now, understand this, when people go and look at the video, they need to also think, especially passengers, when they look at the video, like, you know what? I did that too. I was traveling 5 miles. They charged me $28. They only charged this dude $8. So these videos need to be shared when I do post those particular videos so that passengers can compare what they're paying on rides in my market, in other markets, and so forth. Because Lyft needs to get this stuff together. Either, and it wouldn't be a problem where passengers would have a problem or drivers would have a problem. It wouldn't be so much of a problem if Lyft just made sure the drivers got paid. You get exposed as a company and you look dirty and bad. Sorry, I'm starting to drive and I had the windows down. You look bad as a company when the drivers are complaining right alongside the passengers. You look like scammers. Why do y'all think that their call center is all the way over in India? Every time you try to call them is somebody with an accent. Why do you think their call center is over in India, the biggest scamming country between them and probably parts of Africa, biggest scamming companies that are making hundreds of millions to billions of dollars in US dollars a year. A year. Why do you think that is? That they would put these call centers there? Not because it's cheap, but because these people will stay silent. They're not going to say anything because they are part of that scam culture. So if a company is going to scam people, then guess where they're going to put their company? Where the scammers are. Where the scammers are. So keep that in mind when you're doing business with these companies. Yes, they're providing a service here in America and providing hundreds of thousands or millions of jobs for people, but it's contract. It's contract work, not work where you get health insurance and dental and all this other stuff. This stuff becomes really important to people when you don't have it. Appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.